Doubling every 3 to 4 days.
Epidemiologist Neil Ferguson, known as Professor Lockdown, was recently quoted as saying there could be up to 5,000 daily Omicron deaths this winter. But some advise to take these assumptions, which come from scientific modelling, with caution. Recent modelling put together by the government's scientific advisory group show scenarios relating to the Omicron wave, ranging from 200 to 6,000 deaths per day at their peak. Former head of health analysis at the Office for National Statistics says the high estimates are off the scale.
There is a range in there, but they don't tend to focus on the lower estimate. It's normally always the higher estimate. And what perpetuates that problem is that the UK media always jump on the higher estimate because obviously scary stories probably get more clicks on websites and sell more newspapers. So that's then the problem you have is for the vast majority of the public, the worst case scenario, which is very, very unlikely. And in this instance that I've just talked about, impossible, I would say, it becomes the normality in terms of that's the most likely scenario, because if they think that's all the newspapers are talking about, that's what people think will happen.
He says looking at the current available data, for there to be 5,000 deaths per day at the end of January, there would need to be about 25 million cases between now and then, assuming that Omicron is as severe as the Delta variant. To give some context, figures on Monday show there were just over 45,000 Omicron cases in the UK.
That would mean around 25 million cases between now and the end of January in the next 6 weeks. And cases are what we identify through the positive tests. We know there's more infections than cases because people don't have tests, and you can use some data that's been done to try and estimate that. And it's normally about just over 2 times the number of infections than there is cases. So those 25 million cases would mean 56 million infections between now and the end of January. So you're only as good as what your inputs are when it comes to modelling. And some of the modelling in the UK has been a bit awry, I would say, over the last 18 months. And some of the latest modelling that we've got just seems to be off the scale.
The Prime Minister says he won't impose further restrictions before Christmas. Jane Worrell, NTD News, London.